I paused before my cheating husband could react. From this moment on, you mean nothing to me. I knew before I even walked through that door that my marriage was over. For weeks, I had known. The late nights, the way Eric always kept his phone close, the distance between us that felt heavier with every passing day. At first, I convinced myself it was just a rough patch, that we could work through it. But deep down, I already knew. The man I married wasn't mine anymore. So I stopped trying. I let go in private, grieving the relationship before he even realized I was on to him. I met with a lawyer, started separating our finances, and made sure that when the truth finally came out, I wouldn't be the one left shattered. And now, here I was, standing in our bedroom doorway, watching as Eric scrambled to pull the covers over himself and the woman in our bed. She clutched the sheets, wide-eyed, looking like she wasn't sure whether to run or start apologizing. Eric opened his mouth, probably to throw out whatever pathetic excuse he could come up with, but I didn't give him the chance. From this moment on, you mean nothing to me. His face fell. He looked like he had expected screaming, maybe even tears, but he wasn't prepared for this. You don't mean that, he said, voice uneven. I did. I had never meant anything more. The divorce papers will be delivered tomorrow, I said. I already filed. His eyes widened. What? You thought I didn't know? My voice was calm. You thought you would get to decide when this was over. He shook his head. So that's it? You're just giving up? You made that decision the first time you slept with her. The woman beside him flinched, like hearing it out loud suddenly made it real. Eric ran a hand through his hair. It didn't mean anything. That's exactly why I'm leaving. He opened his mouth again, but I didn't care enough to hear what else he had to say. I turned, grabbed my bag, and walked out of the room without looking back. Ashley was waiting outside, leaning against her car. When she saw me, she raised an eyebrow. That fast? It was already over, I said. She grinned. Good. Now get in. You're staying at my place tonight. I didn't argue. As she pulled away from the house, I kept my eyes forward. There was nothing worth looking back for. Ashley didn't say much at first. She just drove, sneaking glances at me like she was waiting for me to crack. I didn't. There was nothing left to crack. You feel okay? She asked finally. Like no part of you wants to go back there and throw something? I shook my head. No. She let out a low whistle. Damn. I thought there'd at least be some dramatic exit moment, maybe a wine glass smash. I don't have the energy for dramatics, Ashley nodded like she understood. Good. That's good. She tapped her fingers against the steering wheel, but just saying if you did want to key his car, I fully support it. That got a small smile out of me. When we got to her apartment, she didn't give me a choice. She shoved a pair of sweatpants at me, poured me a glass of wine, and ordered enough takeout to feed 3 people. She curled up on the couch next to me, her legs tucked under her. So, what now? I took a sip of wine, letting the question settle. I don't know. Well, I do. She grabbed her phone. Step 1, celebration. You're officially free of that cheating loser, which means we go out, we drink, and we remind you that life exists outside of the mess he made. I raised an eyebrow. A little soon, don't you think? Ashley grinned. Nope. I considered arguing, but honestly, maybe she was right. I had already mourned this marriage. I had spent months trapped in it, suffocating under the weight of my own denial. Now that it was over, what was left to do besides move forward? Fine, I said, but if some guy tries to hit on me, I'm throwing my drink in his face. Ashley's eyes lit up. Now that is the kind of dramatic exit scene I was waiting for. For the first time in a long time, I laughed. The bar was packed. It was loud, chaotic, and exactly what I needed. Ashley had dragged me out to one of our old spots, the kind of place we used to go before I got married, before my life became about making him happy instead of myself. And for the first time in years, I felt like me again. We danced. We drank. We ignored the drunk guys who hovered too close. For a few hours, it was easy. No thoughts of Eric, no memories of what I had lost. Just music, laughter, and the overwhelming feeling that maybe, just maybe, I was going to be okay. Then I saw him. Not Eric, his best friend. And just like that, reality came crashing back. I didn't even remember his name at first. It took a second for my brain to catch up, to recognize the guy leaning against the bar, staring at me like I was the one who had some explaining to do. Ashley noticed before I could say anything. Well, that's unfortunate, she muttered. The guy, Nathan, Nick, pushed off the bar and started walking toward us. Ashley immediately stepped in front of me. Oh, hell no. I just want to talk, he said, holding up his hands. I crossed my arms. Talk about what? He hesitated. Eric. The name alone was enough to sour my entire night. Not interested. I just think you should hear his side of things, he continued, ignoring the way Ashley looked about 2 seconds away from throwing her drink at him. It's not as simple as you think. I let out a short, humorless laugh. No? Because from where I'm standing, it looked really simple. I walked in, and there he was, in our bed, with her. Nathan, or whatever his name was, shifted on his feet. Look, I'm not saying what he did was right, but, Ashley groaned, oh my God, if you say but, I swear. He ignored her, turning back to me. He's not okay. Something in his tone made me pause, not because I cared. I didn't. But because for the first time since this conversation started, he actually sounded genuine. I narrowed my eyes. Why are you telling me this? Nathan rubbed a hand over his face. Because I think he's about to do something really stupid. I should have walked away. I wanted to walk away. But something about the way he said it, the way his voice lowered like he didn't even want to say the words out loud, something about it bothered me. I wasn't sure what I was about to do. But something told me this wasn't over yet. I should have ignored him. I should have walked away, gone back to Ashley, and drowned out the conversation with another drink. But something about the way Nathan said it, he's about to do something really stupid, stuck with me. Not because I cared about Eric. That part of me had died long before I caught him in our bed with someone else, but because I knew him. And I knew that when things didn't go his way, he spiraled. Ashley didn't bother hiding her frustration. No, absolutely not. We are not doing this. I ignored her and turned back to Nathan. What does that mean? Something stupid? Nathan hesitated, like he wasn't sure if he should even be telling me. I wasn't going to say anything, but after you left, Eric kind of lost it. He's not handling this well. He cheated, Ashley snapped. What was he expecting? A standing ovation? Nathan's expression didn't change. He's drinking a lot, saying things that are concerning. I don't know what to do. I didn't know how I was supposed to respond. If Eric was drunk and miserable, that was his own fault. If he was regretting everything, that was his problem. And yet I had been with him long enough to know that sometimes his version of something stupid had real consequences. Where is he? I asked. Ashley let out a loud groan. Oh my God, no. You don't care, remember? Nathan rubbed a hand over his face. His apartment. He won't pick up his phone, won't answer the door. He's just there, drinking himself into oblivion. I already knew what my next move was. Ashley saw it in my face before I even spoke. No, no way. We are not making him your problem. One conversation, I said. Then I'm done for good. You were already done for good. Nathan handed me the address. Thank you. I wasn't doing this for him. And I sure as hell wasn't doing it for Eric. Eric's apartment looked like a place someone had given up in. The blinds were shut, the lights were off, empty beer bottles and takeout containers littered the hallway outside his door like he hadn't even bothered to clean up after himself. I knocked. No answer. I knocked again, harder this time. There was movement inside, followed by something clattering against the floor. A few seconds later, the door creaked open just enough for me to see him. Eric looked like a wreck. His hair was a mess, his clothes were wrinkled, and there were dark circles under his eyes. It was clear he hadn't slept properly in days. He swayed slightly, gripping the doorframe like he needed it to keep himself steady. He blinked, like he wasn't sure if I was real. What are you doing here? I didn't have patience for this. Are you planning to hurt yourself? His eyes widened slightly. What? No. Then what is this? I gestured toward the disaster behind him. The apartment was trashed, bottles knocked over, papers scattered everywhere, and a half-eaten pizza sitting on the counter like he had forgotten about it. Eric leaned against the door, rubbing a hand down his face. I don't know. You don't know? He let out a breath. I don't know how I got here. I crossed my arms. You cheated, that's how. His head tilted slightly, like he was actually considering it for the first time. Yeah, I did. The silence stretched between us. I should have left. I wanted to leave, but something about the way he looked at me, completely hollow, completely lost, made me hesitate. I don't need your pity, he muttered. Good, because I don't have any left for you. Eric stared at the floor. I screwed up. Yeah, no kidding. He swallowed hard, like it was difficult for him to admit it. I don't know what I thought. Maybe that it wouldn't matter. Maybe that you wouldn't find out. I felt nothing hearing him say it. No anger, no sadness, just confirmation of what I already knew. You didn't just ruin our marriage, I said. You ruined yourself. He let out a weak laugh. I know. There was nothing left to say. I turned toward the door, ready to walk away. But before I could, Eric spoke again. You really meant it, didn't you? I glanced back. Meant what? That I mean nothing to you? I held his gaze. Yeah, I did. And this time, when I walked away, I didn't stop. I didn't look back. I didn't second guess myself. I walked out of that apartment, down the stairs, through the parking lot, and straight to my car without another thought. If Eric wanted to drink himself into a pit of regret, that was his choice. It wasn't my job to save him. Not anymore. Ashley was waiting for me when I got back to her place, sitting on the couch with a pint of ice cream like she was bracing for bad news. When I dropped my keys on the table and sat down next to her, she gave me a long look before speaking. So, she asked, is he still alive, or do I need to start helping you come up with an alibi? I grabbed a spoon and took a bite of ice cream, letting the cold settle on my tongue before answering. He's alive. Drunk, pathetic, and spiraling, but alive. Ashley didn't look the least bit sympathetic. And nothing. He admitted he screwed up, but I don't think he even fully understands why. He just knows he lost everything, and now he's miserable. Ashley scoffed. He's miserable? Oh, poor him. What a tragedy. She shoved another spoonful of ice cream into her mouth, shaking her head. So, did he beg? Did he try to pull the "it didn't mean anything" card again? He didn't have to. It's like he finally realized he has no way out of this. No excuse to fall back on, no way to spin it into my fault. I told him he means nothing to me, and this time I think he actually believed it. Ashley studied me for a second, then nudged my arm. And how do you feel? I thought about it. Really thought about it. Relieved, I said finally, like a weight I didn't even realize I was carrying is gone. Good, Ashley said, because I swear if you even think about giving that man another ounce of your time, I will personally throw your phone into the ocean. I laughed, shaking my head. I'm done, Ashley. This was closure. That's all. Good, she said again. Now, can we finally get back to our original plan of celebrating your freedom instead of talking about your useless ex? I smirked. Absolutely. We spent the rest of the night watching bad reality TV, eating way too much junk food, and not mentioning Eric's name once. It was the best night I'd had in years. The next morning, I woke up to 20 missed calls. Eric. I stared at my phone, debating whether or not to block his number. What more was there to say? I had already made it clear there was nothing left between us. Ashley came out of her room, stretching as she glanced at my phone screen. Oh, hell no. Tell me you're not answering that. I'm not, I said, but something about the number of missed calls made my stomach twist. I checked my messages. There were 3. Please call me. I need to talk to you. It's important. It's not what you think. I sighed, tossing my phone onto the table. He's spiraling. Ashley flopped onto the couch. And that's his problem. I know. She eyed me carefully. Do you, though? I nodded. Yeah, I do. I deleted his messages, blocked his number, and leaned back against the couch. He'll figure it out on his own. Ashley grinned. Damn right he will. I picked up my coffee, taking a slow sip as the weight of the last few days finally settled in. I was free. And it felt good. A week passed, and I didn't think about Eric once. Okay, maybe once. But only when I checked the mail and saw the official divorce papers. Holding them in my hands felt surreal, like proof that this chapter of my life was finally closing. I didn't feel sad. I didn't feel anything, just relief. Ashley was practically vibrating when I showed her. Oh my God, sign it right now, she said, shoving a pen into my hand like I was about to win the lottery. I didn't hesitate. I signed my name, sealed the envelope, and set it aside to be mailed. That was it. The last piece of my marriage, gone with a single signature. Ashley sat back, nodding in approval. I am so proud of you. Do you know how many people would have let that man weasel his way back in? But you? Ice cold, iconic. I rolled my eyes. It's not ice cold to divorce a man who cheated on me. Ashley pointed at me. No, but it is when you do it without giving him a single emotional reaction. He wanted you to cry. He wanted you to fight for him, and you didn't even blink. She wasn't wrong. I had taken everything he thought he had power over and shut it down before he even had a chance to manipulate the situation. I had walked away on my terms. Are we celebrating tonight? Ashley asked. I considered it. The past week had been the most peaceful I had felt in years. No more worrying about Eric, no more questioning whether I had made the right choice. For the first time in a long time, I actually felt excited about my future. Yeah, I said, smiling. Let's celebrate. That night, we went out to the same bar we had gone to the night I left Eric, except this time there was no heaviness, no lingering thoughts about him ruining the moment. We drank, we danced, we laughed so hard I thought my stomach would cramp. At some point, Ashley leaned in and asked, "Do you think he's miserable right now?" I shrugged. Probably. She grinned. Good. And I realized I didn't care. Whether he was miserable or not, whether he regretted everything or still didn't understand what he lost, it didn't matter to me anymore. He could spend the rest of his life regretting it, or he could move on. Either way, it had nothing to do with me, because I was free. And for the first time in years, I was happy.